So today on the Pink Room Sessions, I have my friend Connor Lynch on the show. He performs at the National Blues Museum every Thursday night, and he performs in Sisters Magnolia and the Weeds. I will post the website link to their page in the description, and a picture of their website after this message. I hope you guys enjoy. Today we got my friend Connor Lynch.
How's it going?
This is a big one. He is a part of the Weeds of Sisters Magnolia and the Weeds. You could pick up Sisters Magnolia's new album, Coming of Age, on CD, baby.
You heard it from Chase. He knows his music. Thanks, Chase, for the shout out.
Yeah, definitely. Definitely. It's a great CD.
That's cool. Yeah, I'm learning it too. It's great tracks on that. Andrea and Pam really are talented writers, performers. Yeah,
definitely
musicians.
And he's gonna be on the next album.
Yeah. Right. Yep. In the works right now.
Yes.
So, yeah.
You could watch their performance for the CD release party on the National Blues Museum's Facebook page. It's from February 15th, 2020.
That's right. Yeah. That was a week ago yesterday night.
Yeah,
wow, that's crazy. It feels like a year ago already.
It was a great show.
Thank you. Thanks for yeah, it meant a lot that I knew you were watching it too. I was like, this is cool because those live streams are so such a cool thing for the Blues Museum.
Yeah,
it's really nice. And even if they charge, sometimes you're able to just watch it still from a live stream. And I guess it makes sense that the money is pays for that experience too. Just being there live is different, but it's really cool that you can go back and watch the live streams.
Yeah, and even as a performer, you could go back and see it.
Oh yeah, yep. I've already gone through and Andrew recorded some of she put a room mic in there to pick up the room sound instead of the live stream, and it's so much better because you get the audience, you get the levels are way different sometimes than the live stream. So
the feel of it.
Yeah,
is perfect.
We were talking about how cool that would be for the jam sessions just to have a single room mic, because you don't need any of the complicated, live stream audio stuff. So just put a really good room mic in there and pick up the live sound. You get the audience clapping. It's like that. You can't beat that.
You can't. That makes everything better.
Yeah.
Hear the crowd's reactions, and it sounded like a big crowd.
It was a good turnout, and it was some familiar faces too. Some people from the jam and other people that we've seen before at the jam and stuff. So it was great. Yeah, it was cool, and then some new people as well. So it was a good balance.
That helps kill the nerves.
Oh yeah, yep, exactly. Sometimes you'd think it'd be nerve-wracking, but I think the fact that we go to the jams and we see these people regularly while we're performing, then it's okay. If you have people that you never play in front of, then that gets nerve-wracking. But it's like, oh, I jam with these people, or they watch us jam every week.
That's so true.
So yeah,
that's so true.
Yeah, that's cool. So nice. And oh yes, I saw this. Jesse, I saw you guys post this. That's cool to see.
Yeah, he's let me borrow it, and oh man, it's got the greatest tone for slide because it resonates it. And
right.
You could just run the slide across it and just it's picking up the noise.
Wow,
yeah,
that's cool. That's awesome. And is it open tuning? Okay.
I got an open D.
Okay,
so that's my favorite tuning.
Okay.
For slide.
Wow, that's a beautiful guitar. Yeah. And then of course the Les Paul.
The Les Paul. I knew that I had a feeling you were bringing your Les Paul, so I was like, bring the Les Paul.
That's cool. Which is funny because it's a Les Paul, and then I always think this has a similar just finish and color to your Flying V.
That's so true. Yeah,
they look very they look related.
Yeah, very. Yeah, they do. They do. It's like the same wood or something.
Yeah, right. And just it's really cool. I mean, I didn't realize how thin that Flying V is, but
it's very thin.
That's really cool.
Yeah. and I've since learned to play it on my leg, you know.
Oh, that's a good, that's the
Yeah.
perfect guitar for it too.
Yeah.
That's, I can't imagine. Yeah, I've seen people play like classical player. Well, no,
Yeah.
classical sometimes have it over here, right?
Yeah,
Like,
exactly.
that's crazy.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah,
It
that
just
would
shifts
be.
everything
Yeah,
to the
that would be
side.
way harder.
Yeah. That's cool. Yeah.
Yeah.
So what's the guitar that you use the most when you're just jamming, like just practicing?
For honestly, it's turned into my Red Stratocaster, and that's becoming like my practice guitar
Cool.
because, you know, I don't really like to practice on this one just in case anything were to happen to all the signatures on it, you know.
Yep.
And
That's cool. Yeah.
yeah, I'm always getting new signatures on it too now. Like I got Tyler to sign it, got Michael to sign it.
Nice.
And I'm going to get Billy Barnett to sign it whenever I see
nice.
him.
Okay.
You know?
Yeah.
Because
Cool.
he has a signed guitar also that's in the museum right now.
Oh wow. Okay. So they might be careful. They might put that one in the museum.
Yeah, for real. Yeah.
Sorry, Chase. We gotta take this.
Yeah, we actually need that.
but it is cool because that is like really a piece of history. Just with I mean, because the jam sessions are becoming kind of historical in and of themselves.
Definitely.
Just with you know, all of us going there and jamming regularly, it's become a big family. So you know, who knows, 10 years from now with the jam sessions are world renowned and famous, it's like this was the first crew really for the most
it really
part,
is
when it started taking off.
And it's like I will only have people who perform at the National Blues Museum sign
That's
this.
cool. That's a really that's an awesome piece of like history and family. That's cool.
Yeah, definitely. And you know, got the back of it even signed.
Nice.
We got Connor.
Yep, that's right. Yeah, that's oh, who's that guy? I've heard his name. Yeah, that was a fun night, and my brother was there. He's actually gonna be back this coming month too, and I told him that I was like, that's perfect because Chase is gonna be back at that time too, so it'll just be fun that everyone's there. It won't be you know, it's been really empty there without you. So
it's been hard to not show up. I keep watching it. I'm like, I should be there right now.
Yeah, it's right. It's well, I can tell you probably have been practicing because I'm sure you'll be ready to go. That's exciting. Got
so many new songs. It's not going to be the same repetitive stuff that you've heard me play up there.
Well, one day I'll stop playing the same repetitive stuff too, and then we'll both have progressed. So. It's easy to fall into that though.
It is,
but. In some ways, it's like you want to retain some repetitiveness because then that's your style, quote unquote.
Exactly.
You know, that's what makes you identifiable, and but you also want to keep learning too. So it's weird that you eventually shed some stuff that you play a lot, but you retain some things that eventually are like a melting pot of style.
And I know that I will play some of the other songs, you know, also.
Oh yeah.
But,
those are
you know, all for the first, I guess, like 6 weeks, it will be like all new stuff.
Yeah,
you know?
that's exciting. Wow, you have enough for 6 weeks. That's
That's crazy. Just been sitting around here playing guitar.
That's impressive. Well, that is really that's cool. I'm excited.
Definitely.
Yeah.
Definitely.
Anything you're gonna show today?
Yeah, definitely.
Okay.
Definitely. You know, we could start on one right now, you know, and this is just I think it's a pretty easy chord progression.
Okay.
Too.
new chord shapes I hadn't seen you play
Yeah.
before. And even on the solos too. I was also impressed at the vibrato you're adding.
Yeah.
You're really doing vibrato on that.
Yeah,
Yeah,
different.
it sounded great.
It's way different stuff. I've been working on like stuff even like for like solos or like how is it? It's like
nice. That's awesome.
Yeah.
That sounds really good. So when you compose these, how do you go about, like, what's your process, or is it different every time? Like do you mess around with different shapes and see what sounds good, or do you go in with a sound in your head that you want to duplicate? Or...
A lot of the stuff like I'll use the same shapes for a lot of things, or I'll just find like 100 different ways to play them.
Yeah.
Right?
Okay. Yep. That's
Or
all the different voicings of yeah.
Yeah, like a new shape I've been trying to work with right now is like.
Nice. Has a little bit
It's like really
that
simple.
Cool. Yeah. But it has a cool almost funky element.
Yeah.
To it. Yeah. With that slide up the half step. That's cool. Wow.
And even like like just like one finger bars on stuff.
Nice, that's awesome. Yeah, I do that all the time with the just a bar across, and that's usually like, at least when I'm thinking of it, it's like it's just a partial of a larger chord, right? Like so you're kind of like just doing part of some other bigger bar, where it's like usually it's those are like. Actually, sorry, do you mind if I borrow your tuner?
Oh yes, definitely.
Thank you. I realized I'm out of tune.
Yeah.
It'd help if I explained while it's in tune.
Yeah, definitely.
But either way, I was gonna say those are like right there. Okay.
Yeah, it's hidden.
Cool. Yeah, right. But that's like, I think I always use that for a minor shape, like a minor chord, because it's the minor or the flat third and the five that you're basically barring when you do that. So I always go to that when I'm doing a like minor blues or something. Sorry. Cool. I wasn't that off. Okay. I'm never patient. Thank you. I'm never patient enough to let it really settle on the tuning. But yeah, that's like, so like those are like the minor third, the fifth, and the root.
Yeah.
That's what at least I always think of it when I'm playing something like this.
Exactly
So
it.
yeah, so it's just part of that larger.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
So, yeah.
That you just taught me something.
I'm always, that's the funnest part, is discovering once you like how you're playing. It's like, wait, this is just part of something else that I know.
Yeah, like the full bar would be, what is that, like an A bar chord?
Yeah, exactly. Yep. And I'm sure you already know that shape, just this real simple one where your finger is one step forward on it.
Yeah.
And so you're really just bringing that one down, and then it's a minor chord
There.
down, because that's the only difference between those.
So the major would be if you were to put the second fret under it.
Yes, exactly.
Okay.
Yep. Because it's just like you probably already know that, but it's like you're just raising the that third up to like a third, not a flat third.
Yeah.
Which makes it a minor chord if it were flat. But...
Like.
Exactly. Yep.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah, that's
Yeah. That's cool. But I like that. I like that. Those slides that you're doing.
Yeah. Just sliding into it. And what's cool about it, it's so easy for someone to solo over that while you're just doing that.
Oh yeah.
So I always try to. That's another way that I try to write songs. Is I always think, as a rhythm guitar player, how is somebody going to solo over what I'm making?
Right.
You know?
That's a very good
And-
point. Yeah.
People could be doing stuff like.
Nice.
You know.
Sweet.
Yeah.
That's awesome. Yeah, I can tell you from practicing. That sounded really smooth. But yeah, sometimes that's what I miss at the jam. Is just something that's like simple, like just a vamp sitting on one chord, and you're just like there are a couple of rare songs that will play where you get to solo over something like that. But those extended jams on just one chord are really fun because you don't really have a chord progression to like. Tell you where you're going, so you really have to use dynamics to make it interesting.
That's so true.
Like, you can't just be like, oh, here comes the next chord, and I can fall into that, and it spices it up. It's like, oh, this is the same chord.
Same beat.
Yep, same beat, same chord, and it's like, how do I make that interesting?
Yeah.
So, that's cool.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I try to write simple stuff, you know?
Yeah.
Try to keep it very simple.
Yeah,
you
and
know?
sometimes that's the best stuff. It's just something that catches your ear, and it's catchy, and something you can jam to and tap your foot to, and it doesn't need to be weird jazz progressions or anything. I say that because I don't know anything about it. So
So it's a weird jazz progression at that point.
Exactly. Yeah, I'm sure once you know it, it's like, oh, I can appreciate that. But in my mind, I'm like, no, simple's better.
Yeah,
I can play simple.
Yeah. And covers I've been working on. Right?
Okay, yeah.
We were talking about Cream the other day.
That's right, yeah.
You know, and been working on Sunshine of Your Love and Crossroads.
Oh, sweet.
Yeah.
That's such a very good choices, yeah.
And I remembered you were, last time we were hanging out, you were cutting the solos to Crossroads.
I was trying, yeah.
It's just, you know, and that's another one I found was oddly simple, you know? I was like, the chords to that song is very simple. I would have never thought that because it doesn't sound simple.
Right.
And the guy who's playing it isn't a simple guitar player.
Right,
so I was like, that one's cool.
Which is cool because they took just one of Robert Johnson's, or actually a couple of his tunes, because he had Crossroad Blues, but it was like they took, I think it was a mix of two different ones that
Traveling Riverside Blues.
Yeah, exactly, yes. Yep, you know, so it's like, so I think they took that and basically just amped it up, and just breakneck speed and crazy guitar licks, but if you slow it down, it's like you hear the inspiration of all that early blues stuff. And that riff is so cool too. They've cited one of the songs that he got that riff from, but it's hard to hear it when it's slowed down like that. It's hard to recognize it. If you would slow it down, Nice. Nice. That's cool. You totally.
Faster, you know, is really when it starts to sound like Cream, you know.
Nice, that's awesome. Sweet. It's such a cool little simple like lick, and it just has that sound to it. And then those little bends are so nice too. Where it's like, and then you just too. Right. So I'm just on that fret. And if you're able to fret that, this note here, that provides that 7 chord. It's like it is, and that just makes like, yeah, that's a tough. Yeah, exactly. Yep. If you can get that, yeah, then it's like it has that total
oh yeah,
bluesy 7 sound.
ooh, that's a difficult one. Oh, maybe.
Oh yeah. Oh yep. Nice, good call. Yeah, that's cool.
Oh,
Yeah.
that makes it sound much better. Hey,
Yeah.
see?
Yep,
Yeah.
that's I had to figure that out when I was first starting,
Wow.
what he was playing, because I thought it was just to D, like where it goes. But if you get that this 7 in it, which is what you were doing, that's like, yeah, and then
Nice.
going to the E is cool.
Totally do that.
That would be a fun one.
Yeah, that would be a fun one.
Yeah, it's tough to imagine the improving a solo when you hear the original. It's because it's just like, how am I supposed to play that? Something different. Yeah.
That's so true. Like I was, if I can't play a solo, I will look up the somebody else playing the solo, and I'll just find the spots.
Yep. It's so much easier than looking at tabs and lining up.
Yeah.
Like, oh, there's a 7. I gotta find the 7th fret on the string. Yeah. It's like just looking at it. Yeah, it's so much easier to watch and figure it out. Yeah.
It's a wonder how they learned how to play guitar back then.
I was talking to someone about that recently, about how these days with YouTube and stuff, it's so nice, and you always hear the stories of people playing and stopping and turning the record back and slowing it down and playing it again, and it's like all by ear. It's
it takes so much time.
Right. Yeah, exactly. And then to go about inventing a new spin on all that stuff too. That's that's crazy.
Yeah.
So that's cool. And then what's Sunshine of Your Love? Let's hear that.
I gotta think of it in my head now.
Yeah, it does that like. Nice slide. That's sweet. That's awesome. That sounds great.
And like the solo is crazy because like it's all about bends, you know.
Yeah. Yep. There's at some point I've tried to. Yeah.
And like hitting the next string over while you're bending it, and I can't do that.
Yeah, that is really tough, and I've worked on that and tried to figure it out, and just that those that bend to a next note is weird. Yeah, but I do know that song. He does that thing where he goes, and it's of course you gotta roll the tone all the way back. You know, to get that. Yeah. It's like where you go.
Yeah.
Something like that, and then I don't remember.
And then he goes like right up here and starts bending it.
Yes,
goes right back into it and goes even, you know.
Yeah, you're right. Yeah,
like faster with it.
And he does that weird. And he goes, where is that? Is that where he goes?
Yeah.
Oh, it's right here. Yeah, I guess he has that note.
Yeah, that little dead note. Yeah.
Yeah, I don't remember how. It's hard to hear the rhythm, but it's
You totally got it, though.
Thanks, but you're totally right. Yeah, I forgot how he goes up to those major bends,
and it's just out of nowhere.
Yeah,
you know. I was like, I can't do this.
It is, and it's such so identifiable too. Because it's technically proficient, but sometimes he's just so lazy with the bends and stuff, and it just has such a cool sound. Like to do that, and then that slide up to the
And it's like I was even thinking, like, I don't think I could put another solo to the song.
Right. Because it's so hard to unhear that once you've heard it. And it also just, you think nothing's going to do it justice either. It's,
right. Like, I can't come up with a better solo than that. And I know if I played that song on stage, people would be waiting for that solo.
Yes, that's the dangerous part. You're right. And, I mean, you heard that with, the Sisters Magnolia concert. We did a couple covers like You're So Vain and We Belong and Guilty and stuff like that, and those are iconic, but they're not as just set in stone as something like a Cream song like Sunshine Your Love. So we were able to make it our own and adapt it, and it'd be cool to do it with other stuff, but sometimes they're just so iconic by themselves, you can't really mess with it.
And that solo that you put down on We Belong, just
thank you.
That was amazing.
Thank you. That was
I was like, this is better than the original.
Oh wow, that means a lot. Thank you. Yeah, I don't. That was the tough part, was at least just knowing where to, when I went in on that day. I don't think I had anything very planned except for just the lead up to it, which was that part that kind of just follows the chord progression. I think it was the and then after that, then when it went into the main part, then it was like, okay, just do some solo but over the major, scale, as opposed to blues pentatonic, which is so tough to to not go to that. And you could do it, but it was just like, I was like, I'm gonna just have all these canned phrases that are not even lending itself to the song. So it was just then I'm trying to do something, but I'm glad it came out right. Yeah, thank you.
Came out great. And I heard you guys play You're So Vain on the jam session before it. Yeah. And of course, I had to comment, they're singing a song about me.
I caught that. That was really good. Yeah. That was really good. Yeah.
But whenever you guys played it at the actual concert, it was just like I had already heard it, but it was just so great. I don't know if you guys switched it up. It just sounded like it was like really on.
Yeah, thank you.
Really on.
It was helpful going over that song, and then one of the originals that was called I Remember. That was the other one that we did on Thursday night, and it would it would be nice to run through all of them in that same setting that we were about to do it in, just because to get a feel for how loud the room, what the room's like, and our dynamic on stage, because really we hadn't practiced too much like that. But yeah, it was, we kind of got a couple takeaways from Thursday's jam with those songs and kind of brought them in. Yeah, but I think more than anything, it was just learning that I was like, all right, we're on stage together, and in a couple days we're going to be doing the full thing together. So it was kind of nice to ease into it like that, as opposed to day of the concert we just show up and then it's like, all right, we're on stage together and let's try it out. But, that's true. Yeah. And I think also Steve being on his full kit really brought something new to it. Definitely also. You know, and we take for granted that we can just bring our guitars around, and I'm reluctant to play on anyone else's guitar, like you are too. I'm sure, where it's like not for any reason more than just I'm not comfortable with it, and and it's not my guitar. Yeah, and, you know, I'm always afraid to play it too hard, because if I bust somebody else's string, I'll feel terrible. Exactly. If I bust my own string, I'm fine with it. Yeah, you know? Right, exactly. And it almost is like, oh, cool, it's adding character to my guitar if something happens, like in some reasonable ways. But it's just that it's like, you know, well, it's part of the process of gigging with a guitar, bringing it around. But you're right, with anyone else's, you don't want to even leave any sign that you were playing it. Right. And also, it's just not as comfortable. But for going back to Steve, I could see then when you're always on someone else's drum set, it's like, how do you get comfortable with that? Especially when you've got one that you know is your perfect, you know, fit. So that is cool that he got to bring it. Yeah, that was really awesome. I seen it back there, and I messaged him. I was like, nice kit, Steve. I knew it. I was like, that is. Yeah, it was a beautiful one too, and the red was very thematic for the band too. Yeah. So we were kind of commenting like, wow, look at that. It's got a great tone to it, color to it. And, it was perfect for it. Yeah, but that's cool. And that's another thing about playing somebody else's guitar. My pick does not hit the pick guard whenever I'm playing. It hits the guitar. Ah. Oh, yeah, because the pick guard's kind of going that way for the most part. Yeah. Yeah, so my, you know, every time it's smacking my guitar and it leaves, like, little marks. Right. I'm always like, oh, I'm playing somebody else's guitar with a pick. Yeah, you know, that's... I wouldn't want to do that. Right. You know, even playing Jesse's guitar, I've been playing it with just my thumb. Oh, wow, okay. You know, that's very thoughtful, and, but yeah, it's exactly, that's why for me it's always like, I gotta make sure I have my guitar, like you said, it's almost inhibiting that you can't play the way you want to play, because you don't want to mess it up either. And what's cool about it's like, nice. So I like to, you know, keep my beats to the second fret and just slide down to third, you know, like. Nice. That's a great tone. It does. Yeah, it's probably, you've improved on slide too, so it's probably twofold, but that has a really cool resonant sound to it. You know, if I do play this one with a pick, it's just single notes. Yeah. Because I'm so afraid to. So Jesse, I've been taking care of it. Yeah, I can vouch for that. He's going very light on it. One thing I've noticed too is that the fretboard is very short. It only is this E? I mean, not E. Sorry, is that the 12th fret right there? That is. Yeah. They're very small. Like, and as it goes down lower, it gets smaller and smaller. Wow. Okay. Wait, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Oh, that's 12. It. Oh, that's confusing. They normally keep
double.
They normally keep that on the 12. Yeah, right. Because I'm looking at your Strat, and that's. I would always think of that as being the 12th fret. Wow. Oh, well, look at the dots on the side. Oh, wait, are there dots here? There are. On this side, there's 2 dots for that 1 dot there. Oh, okay, there we go. Wow, that's very confusing. You don't look at that whenever you're playing. Oh, I never do, That's, I've seen people or heard people use those side dots sometimes, and I never look at those.
See, this is what I like about it the most, you know. It's
Wow, yeah. It's very... Nice, the slide up to it.
and with the, you know, just
That's sweet. Wow, nice. And
Yeah.
that slide, yeah, that's really good. I've only just started realizing how difficult it is to stay in tune because really anything goes when you're with a slide. Any minuscule movement to the side and you're shifting the pitch a little bit. So
Right.
it's like that's it sounded really good. You're right over the frets because they can always say that, right? Like,
yeah, gotta stay on the
yeah.
fret, you know, and even if you go in between it, I feel that it still works because, like,
it's
like-
kind of setting on the fret finally. Yeah.
yeah, and you could go in between it, it'll kind of, like, deaden it a
Okay,
bit, you know, like,
Right,
know?
right. Yeah. Wow, that's got a great tone.
Yeah.
It really sounds like. Yeah.
I learned this trick with a slide, too. I was watching Son House.
Okay.
He never kept his slide straight.
Wow, that's always one of the first things they say. It's just
Yeah.
so cool that he's not. It's like anything goes.
Yeah,
it doesn't
anything
matter.
goes, right? So he would do stuff like,
Yeah. Interesting. So it lets you kind of like sweep the.
yeah.
Yeah, interesting. Because if you have your parallel to it, then you're not going to get that like. I saw. Yeah, you were moving it toward the note that you want to hit.
Yeah, it adds vibrato
Wow.
without having to do,
Right.
you know.
Huh. That's
You
cool.
know, you could just.
Sweet. Wow, yeah, it's like basically an arc that you're kind of like tracing
Yeah.
out over the frets.
Yeah.
That's cool. Yeah. So there's some videos of Sunhouse that you've seen then.
Yeah.
I think I've only seen
Yeah.
one or something, but yeah. Did you? Are there some out there?
Yeah, there
okay.
are. It's on YouTube. He was doing like a full concert.
Wow.
Right?
Oh, okay.
And it's like it's black and white, you know.
Okay.
And they keep zooming into a slide playing.
That's
and I was
cool.
like, that's what's up.
Yeah, right.
you
Because
know?
anything from before, I don't even know what year, but like everything in the 60s and 70s when there's a great guitar player, it immediately cuts to something else whenever
Yeah.
there's like a solo that you're like, I get to finally see what they're doing. They move it away.
Yeah,
So
for real.
That's some rare footage that they're actually showing the
Yeah.
slide technique.
Yeah, and this dude was like doing some stuff like. You know, like
Yeah.
sliding right into that with it crooked.
Wow.
I was like, why is he doing that? And then finally, he did that sweep. And I was like, that's
Gotcha.
why he's doing it.
Gotcha. Wow. That's crazy. Yeah, he answered it right there. That's cool.
You know, and I was like, that's so cool, you know, and it made me want to actually, I'm going to go back and actually start learning some Sunhouse songs.
Okay.
You know?
Yeah. That's cool. I don't know. I have to plead ignorance on a lot of the early blues stuff, but
Yeah.
I wonder how conventional the style is. Is it not as conventional when it's like solo accompaniment?
It's like,
It seems.
yeah, it's like the beat itself is more of a solo than
Yeah.
the then like they'll be singing over it.
Right. Right.
You know, and I
Okay.
think
Yeah.
that whenever I go back to listening to like Robert Johnson, he actually doesn't sing over his. And,
Oh. Okay.
which is
Okay.
amazing to
Wow.
me. That's like cutting edge to that
Yeah.
time.
Right.
You know?
Interesting. Okay. Yeah, because the early stuff I hear, it's not necessarily 12 bars or the
Yeah.
standard format. They kind of just almost like when they feel like it, they switch to the next like chord in the progression. It's very stream of consciousness almost. That's cool. Yeah.
Yeah. Been working on this slide song that's great if someone's like soloing over it. You know, and it's like.
I like it. Nice. You want to try something?
Yeah.
See? So,
Let's see. I'm gonna get on this. I got this pick that just blends into everything. Where did I put it?
Oh, is that red? The red one?
Yeah. What is? Well, there's a pick. Right
Oh wait,
here,
yeah.
So I'll use this.
Okay. That's cool. I like that riff.
Yeah.
Take a solo. Nice. All right. That was awesome.
Yeah.
I like that riff too. That's a really, once again, just a simple, like, just keeping it one chord and just a catchy riff. And
Yeah.
then you can do whatever you want over it.
That's really it, you know, and that's the kind of stuff I've been writing lately.
That's sweet.
You know, keeping to the just simplest stuff.
Yeah, that's so cool. And at the Blues Jam, I'm interested to hear, like, Jesse and your dynamic with some stuff too,
Yeah.
like especially something over that too. Like I'd love to hear Jesse's interpretation over like a cool riff like that.
Yeah,
so.
And that first night back at the Blues Museum, I'm bringing his guitar back.
Awesome.
And I'm doing that one, and then I'm gonna sing.
Oh yeah, no way.
Yeah.
That is I envy your courage. That's very cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, what like. Is it your own material?
Yep, my own song.
Wow.
I already sang it for Jesse, and he told me, you must sing that.
Wow.
So I got the song on video, I sent it to him, you know?
Yeah.
Then I sent it to Pete.
Yeah.
And I was like, Pete, I'd like some piano on this song.
Nice.
And he was like, yeah, I'll put some keys to
Yeah.
it. So I was like, no way. You know? Like, all right,
Yeah.
it's set. I have
Be careful,
to do
you're
that.
gonna be taking all the band members from the weeds. We need Peter. You can't take Peter.
Yeah, I won't take him away.
That's awesome. That is really cool. I'm excited. I can't wait to hear, and that's inspiring that you're singing. Hey, that's like really cool. It takes a lot of courage.
Yeah, it's a big step because I'm not confident in my voice, you know, not confident in my singing voice, but I like the song.
Okay,
know?
okay, yeah.
And it gives shout out to the National Blues Museum.
Sweet.
So it's only fair that I should sing that my first time back.
That's awesome.
You know?
Wow.
And, you know, there's a lot of people up there who has shown me just great courage in getting up there and singing and coming back and singing.
Yep,
and,
exactly, yeah.
And at that point, I feel that it's, you know, like I've even witnessed, you know, some singers that are getting better over time.
I was gonna say, yeah, that's so true. Someone that always comes to mind for me is Charles. He is so cool. It's just I remember the first time he went up there, and I think he sang "House of the Rising Sun." And he did that for a little bit, then moved to St. Louis Blues, and he's got some other stuff. But but he's been getting better every time, and and it's really inspiring. Yeah, it's super cool.
It's super inspiring. He's inspired me a lot. You know, and he gets up there and. It's just great, you know. I look forward to seeing his performance every week. You know. And like I remember, like there was times when Pete would be on keys counting him off, you know, on certain things. Now he doesn't need that.
Nope,
you know?
Nope.
He doesn't need that.
He sets the pace. That's what he wants. Yeah, and he's comfortable up there too. So.
He's pointing over at people to take solos.
Yep, it's
know?
awesome. I'm now looking to him like, please give me a solo.
Yeah.
You know? It's like, but it's cool. Yeah, he's it's awesome. It's cool that he's consistently gotten better and consistently like had the courage to do it. Yeah. He's tried to get me to do it, and I still can't. I told him sometime I'll do it. Maybe you doing it will give me enough courage.
Hey, hopefully, you know, and that's one of those things. I'm not going to be singing every time I go there.
Okay.
You know?
Yeah. You don't want to set that precedent.
I don't want to do that. You know, because then I feel that would be people would be like, okay, now he's gonna go up there and sing that song again, you know, and I'm gonna.
You might surprise everybody, including yourself. That might be your claim to fame, is like a song that you sing on and stuff, and and you may enjoy it more than just playing. Who knows? Yeah, it's exciting because all you have to do is have the courage to do it, and then it's like you may suddenly be like, wait, I got something here I like to do, and it's actually singing and playing and. Coming up with things. But I see what you're saying. Yeah. The jam part of it is fun.
The jam part is fun. I love instrumental music because I can't play guitar and sing.
Okay,
so that's going to be the thing, you know.
Yeah, you mean keeping rhythm and playing your chords and everything?
I can't do it.
Yeah, that's, I don't know, like stepping on pedals sometimes. Yeah. That's enough to throw me off whatever I'm doing even. It's and people, let alone sing, but people seamlessly, you know, just step on a pedal while they're doing something, and I'm in the middle of something and I think of anything but playing, and suddenly I'm off. Don't know what I'm doing. So it's very, I don't know, it's almost worth it to just do stuff, play and go walk around or do something in your room, like lean and do something else while you're playing.
Yeah,
just,
talk and play.
Yeah,
talk to someone.
Oh, yeah, that's true.
Carry a conversation.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's cool. Well, yeah, that's exciting. I'm sure just like you're playing, you'll probably, on the times that you do sing at the museum, it'll probably get better and better too.
Yeah,
so
probably.
That's exciting. Yeah.
You know, like the only pedal I can do while I'm playing guitar is a wah pedal. Otherwise, I have to have the distortion on the whole time.
Okay. Yeah. Just
like
yeah. Wah pedal for me is still. I've messed around with it before, but there was one time at the jam, and you were there, I think. But it was like, I went up and tried to use it, and it was like, the minute I stepped on it, I was like, that was a mistake. Like and it was also just, it was Jake's wah pedal, so it's one of the smaller ones, you know.
Oh yeah.
And I also just have never really been on stage doing it, so it was like I felt like I was pushing the pedal board was moving a little.
Gosh.
I wasn't gonna go off the stage, but it was like enough that I was like I can't balance and keep my foot and trying to do something, and then I just set it at a weird tone and started playing. I was like, this sounds horrible. but the one thing at least that I've improved at, and maybe you do it too, but it's like volume control stuff.
Yes.
Sometimes I'll watch like one of the clips from like the jam or something, and if I'm watching like my solo just to see how it sounded, I'll see myself reach for the volume and like in the middle of a solo and do something like, oh, I'm not even aware of that. That's awesome.
Wow.
Like, and before it used to be like, I don't know how you can be playing and then consciously think I need to bring the volume up or down or something. So it's cool to see yourself do that and be thinking, oh, I didn't even know I was doing that when I was playing. So that's always a plus. So you can only hope that there's more stuff like pedal usage and things like that improve.
I remember Jesse one time I was at the jam and I had never ever tried to turn down my guitar while I was playing.
Okay.
And my left hand doesn't do too much, right?
Okay, yeah.
And it could strum a guitar. I always joke it could strum a guitar but can't pick anything up, right? You know? So he was like, hey Chase, your guitar's too loud, turn it down. So in the middle of playing like a 12 bar, I went, yeah, just left the rhythm completely. And I looked
read you loud and clear.
Yeah. And he was like, he was just looking at me. I was like, I screwed it up, didn't I?
That's hilarious.
So since then, I've learned it's what I have to do is
right. Like keep the You're right. Yeah.
Hit a long chord.
Yeah. Right. Yep. Exactly.
Make it sound like part of the song.
It's so funny the stage stuff that you pick up from playing live at these places. Like I think maybe told you that, but it was the first time I played live like with people. It was at this little place in Los Angeles, and it was like same thing with me. I never mess with the volume really, because you're just at home and you mess with the amp or something, but you don't mess with your guitar tone or the knobs or whatever. And the minute I got up there, the guy who I was playing with like told me to turn it down or something. I didn't really know what he was saying. It was like I didn't understand it. So I'd never really messed with these. So I just rolled it up more. I just turned it up more. So and then he had to go to the amp and actually turn it down for me in the middle of the song. And I was like, after that, never was confused about volume again.
I read you loud and clear.
Right.
Just
right. Yeah. Exactly. Okay. So exact opposite of what you said. Got it.
That's great.
So yeah, but that's funny. That's a similar story to at least just volume knobs can get you.
Yeah, it always throws you off at first.
Right.
You know, and I'm getting now to where I listen to myself back, and I'm like, ooh, maybe that should have been turned down. Maybe I should have hit the strings a lot softer on that part.
Oh, interesting.
You know,
okay.
like if someone else is getting really into a solo that I am aware that I'm like, ooh, that is the main part of the song.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
I need to like, you know, soften it.
That's cool. Yeah.
And then once they're done with it,
nice.
You know, get back into it. And that was something that me and Jesse were even talking about, you know, like getting like softer at strumming it is also volume control.
Yeah. Oh yes. Yep. You can keep the volume all the way up and just vary how hard. Yeah. But that's cool. That's something I'm still working on too. Is just that like listening, like everywhere, like picking up on everyone in the band or in the jam or something, and just reading people and kind of thinking like, oh, I'm in the mix right now. I'm not just playing,
Right.
and it's hard to do, but that's cool that you're picking up on that, because I'm still working on that, where it's like you said, oh, this is time to kind of turn it down a little bit and let someone else take over or something.
Yeah, and especially whenever that adrenaline is going on stage, it's hard to do that.
Yep, so true, so true. Yeah, you're thinking about everything when you don't need to be, and the last thing you're thinking about is the stuff you need to be thinking about.
Yeah.
Like volume, or or just kind of like seeing it's when people raise their hand to say I'm done with the song. Now it's like a beacon. You see that and you know right away. But initially, if you're not paying attention, then you just keep playing, and then everyone stops and you're like still playing. It's like,
right. And those brief breaks that are in songs, I always feel like that I would like. Right.
It's exactly. It's like running and having to stop all of a sudden. It's it's true. It's so it is. It's like always being ready for something like that. But
like Chuck does this one song where it's that She's My Ugly Little Sweet Potato song, where he does like, I don't know, like 20 stops in a row.
Right.
I would be like every time, right, where he's telling me to stop. I know I would be.
Right, exactly, and it's like, it is hard to land on that beat, and especially when they're not the same pace, because you could lock into a rhythm and be like, all right, I know, stop or whatever, but if he has more to say in a line that right before he stops, then you have to wait a little longer, and then it's like it's like all these missteps. That's so true. That's hilarious.
There's this other song I'm working on, right, and I think I played it my last time that I played up there, but it's gotten better now, since then, because it was new even then, and now I've gotten time to work on it. It's like,
Wow, that was awesome. That was a cool riff. That's just like a tough, like kind of like had a cool rock sound to it.
Definitely.
And I like that kind of the first riff stuff where you're doing the pull off every other time.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yep. Yeah, right. That's awesome. That was a cool. That had a good beat too. So you think you did that on the last?
I think I did, but it was only like.
Gotcha,
and that's
gotcha.
what it was at
Wow.
first. But since then, I've taken that one like a step further.
Definitely.
And I've learned this specific freaking beat that I can now do.
Okay.
And it's putting this down on these two strings.
Way. That's awesome. So you get those extra notes in. Yeah. Wow.
That I don't think most people can do in a 12 bar.
No. Oh yeah. No, definitely not. Yeah, that's cool. Just more voicings that you have. And that was. I like that transition that you do into this part right here. Like
back up, like or.
So when you do that, so if you stay in that spot then and pick down the notes, how many things are fretted when you strings are fretted when you do that move where you're pressing down the extra notes?
That is 1, 2, 3, 4.
Wow. Okay, that's sweet. That's cool, and that has a good sound to it. It's like definitely interesting tones that are coming out.
Yeah, and you could do it anywhere. I found.
Okay. That's really cool. Yeah, you're basically getting that note in that people have to, that I have to do, where it's like where you go like that extra note, that part of that chord progression, you're getting it in down here because it's right here, so you're able to get that note in by fretting it as opposed to having to actually do the reach. That's cool. Wow. That's awesome. Yeah, there's other notes in there that I'm missing, but you wouldn't be able to get that by trying to just do a standard like fretting thing.
It would be so hard, I feel, for you would need to have an extra finger come down on.
Right, because I can't. If I'm dedicating these two fingers to stretching, there's no way I'm going to be trying to fret.
Bend
right, exactly. Or use my middle finger in some way that I can't even try and do. No, there's no way that's happening. That's cool. Yeah.
So that's going to be something new that I keep trying.
That's awesome.
There, and I found my spot so that it sounds good at. I think that this is, what is this, key of G? I want to say.
Okay. Sweet. Wow. That's cool. Yeah. I noticed too on a couple of the songs that, or maybe it was the first one that you showed me, you were soloing with your thumb, which that was how you started, right?
Yep.
And so that's cool that you go back to that technique though sometimes.
Yeah, always. Okay,
so like, is it for open, for E, where you want to do the open strings?
Yep, E, key of E always.
Okay.
And like a lot of times whenever I'm playing like chords and stuff, I got this other song that I do it. That's like, and it's similar to the one that I was showing you. It's was the
That's
first
sweet.
chord progression that I learned.
That's wow. That's cool. Yeah, and that's a great use of open strings too, and it all sounded good because sometimes those chords up there, some of them might be good with open strings and some might not, but those all sounded good with some of the open strings that you were using.
The I believe we played this the last time that you were hanging out with me, and it's still new, you know.
Yep. That's right.
Yeah.
All right, man. That was awesome. That was such a cool. I remember the last time we hung out. That was like that was the best one where we were just reading each other's vibe on that. That's so cool.
That one is. That is the best thing that I've come up with in a long time.
It's just such a good and in some ways when it's like something you can rely on that it's going to be, you don't have to think too much about like, oh, are we changing chords or something. Once again, back to the one chord thing, but it's like there's some comfort in that where it's like, all right, I'm not going to get too lost if I try and go out on a limb on a solo. It's like that's the worst, where you go far out and then you're like, I forgot, I don't know what chord we're on and where to end this thing. And,
where to jump back into, because you always know that it's going to start off on that E.
Exactly. Yep, exactly. So it's like a perfect way to land gracefully from doing something.
Right.
There are other times where you just crash and burn, where it's like, I don't know what chord we're on, but I know I should probably stop playing. It's like you just stop. It's like, that's
Yeah, and that's something like in a lot of music today, it's like people think, if I just jam pack it with all these chords,
Yeah, right. There's going to be something more to it. But it's not. It's like, all the great riff writers, which you're one of them too. You write some great riffs. You really do. Yeah,
Thanks.
it's and like Keith Richards, he always writes great ones. Jimmy Page, those guys, they knew that doesn't have to be super complex, just something that is just like tough sounding, pretty cool, like a great, great,
catches somebody's attention.
Exactly, and it'll go great with a solo.
Yeah.
So.
And it's like they say nowadays that people's attention span is only like 8 minutes, and I'm
sorry, what'd you say? I wasn't listening. But so go on.
So if you keep going with just something that catches their attention from the start, maybe they will stick with it till the end.
Yep. That's it is true. You're right. It's so easy. Just like they always talk about with writing too. It's always those you gotta have a catchy intro and
Yeah.
something that grabs the reader, just like grabs the listener here. It's like, yeah,
Right.
otherwise it is easy how quickly you fall off from interest, especially when it's something that you're just starting with and you're like, okay, how do I want to invest in listening to this whole song, you know? Which, once again, back to the attention span, it's like you can't sit for 3 minutes and hear something, but sometimes it's true. It's like, if you hear the first couple things and you're like, this isn't catching my ear, then you're not gonna give it a chance.
Yeah.
So,
And you're not gonna listen to it again.
right
Now, if
exactly.
it's like,
there's no redemption. That's
yeah. And if it's so catchy that people are like, I have to hear it.
Yeah.
You know?
Right. Exactly. Yep. Yeah.
And I've been teaching myself now to even solo with a thumb from up
sweet.
here. You know, like
That stage. Nice. That's awesome. Nice.
Yeah.
That's cool. Yeah, that's some good showmanship. Also, you got kind of you can do that on stage. Yeah.
And just like volume knob to even get my guitar up there.
Yeah.
One long
Right.
chord.
Yep. Yeah. Exactly. Yep. It's all keeping that sound going while you do other stuff. Yeah. That's
so
awesome.
you don't even miss a beat
Right.
while you're trying to do it.
Yeah, I'm always amazed at those videos of people like break a string or something. Have you seen?
Yeah.
I mean, there's one classic one with Stevie Ray Vaughan where he's got a guitar tech who's crazy how smooth he is, but Stevie Ray Vaughan also doesn't miss a beat either because he's singing and he breaks a string and then he's singing and he's like undoing the guitar strap and then the guitar tech is putting the guitar around him and he just goes straih back into the riff.
Straight back into it.
Yeah.
And there's B.B. King who normally didn't sing and play guitar at the same time.
Yeah.
So
Right.
this dude breaks a string in the middle of his solo. He ends the solo pretty soon and goes back into a song, unwinds that string. He's still sitting there singing, adding more words into the song, and just restrings his
That's
guitar
so cool.
up there.
Yeah, it's I think I heard that. I didn't know if there was a video out there. That's amazing. Yeah, it's funny because you're right. He isn't. I always think of him as not playing and soloing or anything. I was singing and soloing at the same time, or playing while singing, and but it's like he can tune a guitar or restring a guitar while singing.
Yeah.
Yeah. Wow.
Just crazy.
Yeah.
Crazy. I love that video.
That's cool. That's awesome. Yeah, I'm trying to think of other ones I've seen that are like that, but yeah, it's cool just how comfortable people are with their instruments that they can not miss a beat when something happens.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. Man, there's some talented people out there to be able to do that. I know if I broke a string while I was playing, that'd be the end of my set.
Yeah, right. Exactly. No, I know exactly. Yeah, there's one that comes to mind that I always think of. I, of course, have always talked about the early Fleetwood Mac, like with Peter Green and Danny Kerwin too. He's like the young kid who was in the group, but yeah, but there's a live video of him playing, and he used to go so hard on the guitar when he was like playing it, just to get that crazy vibrato. And there's one where he's in the middle of it on one of the rare recordings that they have of him, and he's just going, and then he just breaks the string and doesn't miss a beat. He just doesn't play on that string anymore, but it's just he just keeps going with the song and just gets the string out of the way and then keeps playing.
Wow.
And, yeah, so that was pretty impressive. Yeah, so you can either have a guitar changed in the middle of a song or keep playing without the string. Either one.
I remember up at the Blues Jam, our friend Daniel Ham was up there playing Jesse's guitar, busted his string. You know, Daniel felt so terrible about it. And me and Jesse hadn't had our set yet. And I was even thinking, I was like, man, Jesse's going to have to borrow somebody's guitar.
Yeah.
And Dave Smith had a spare thing of strings, and he had restrung it.
That's so cool.
before our set.
That's crazy. It takes me like, half a day to do that
Right.
thoroughly, and it's cool to be able to do that real quick in the middle of a set, or it's like right before you guys go up.
Yeah.
Wow.
It was so cool. Like,
Yeah.
how did he do that so fast?
Yeah.
That's what I thought. I seen Jesse with the guitar. I was like, oh, he's gonna play it without that string.
Yeah.
And then I see it. I'm like, wait a minute. And he later told me Dave Smith restrung my guitar. I was like, that's crazy.
That's crazy. And I think he put all new strings. So that means he changed 6 strings as opposed to just putting a new one on there. I think he just did the whole thing
Within like 30 minutes.
Right. That's crazy. That's cool. Yeah, that's a good skill to have. I'm just not willing to keep rechanging my guitar strings.
That's crazy.
Yeah. That's cool. Yeah, I'm trying to think of anything else. I've only been working on like little of anything I can remember. Just last week, I was just trying to do stuff that I tried when I was first starting, which was like a Who song.
Oh, nice.
One of their live. It's called Young Man Blues.
Okay.
I don't know if you've heard that, but
Yeah.
let's see, what was the riff? It was let's see, what was it? Yeah, something. So it goes. I think this is it. Yeah, there it is. Okay, so.
Wow.
But it's just, I remember when I first started, I couldn't figure out what that descending sound was, but it was basically, I think it's a. I don't even know exactly what's going on, but it's
open chords.
Yeah, it's like a. I don't even know what it is exactly. But either way, it's just, so I saw a live video of Pete Townsend doing it. I was like, I think I got it finally.
Wow.
Taking me long enough. But
That's so good.
It's a really cool, it's just a real, like, cool riff.
And you can really throw that into anything, that part that... that super fast part that
exactly.
you just did,
those like pull off, Yeah, exactly.
And like, even if somebody's doing like, you could go in and do that,
Yep. Yeah, exactly, and that's another similar sounding is the one that another Peter Green one that I always know is that Oh Well, I don't know if you've heard that, but it goes,
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, it's like some kind of a, let me see if I can do it one more time.
That's amazing.
It's all just pull-offs. It's just all like, right. Yeah, so
that's like super fast.
Yeah, and it's I know it is, and it's just getting that rhythm of it's just getting that rhythm of like pulling off on the strings, but that is the toughest part, is fitting it to the rhythm. So but that's a cool one, and I've always heard that kind of like, is it there's like that little note right here that goes, he does it down here as opposed to up here. So there's like the first one, which is, and then right here. So
that's super cool.
Yeah, it's really cool. So it's just a great riff.
I'm going to get my acoustic restrung. I had put a Dove pick guard on it.
Okay.
Also, which
Okay.
is different. It looks different.
Okay.
Now.
What's it? Now that's another. Is that another thing? Or
that's a guitar that they refused to put strings on because the bridge wasn't bolted down.
Oh, right. I think you mentioned that to me last time. Yeah, right.
I'm going to bolt down the bridge, and I'm going to put the strings on.
Sweet. Okay.
But I took the Dove pick guard off of there and stuck it on my black acoustic, and it looks much better than it did on there.
Awesome. Okay.
And
so that was the one you would do the street performing with.
Yeah.
Right? Okay.
Yeah.
Gotcha. Yes.
And
that's cool. I gotta see that.
Yeah, I brought it up to a blues museum one time, and I played slide on it.
Okay.
And I'm sitting there about to play it, and I'm hearing this awful buzzing sound. I'm like, and I put my hand on it, and the buzzing stopped, and I was like, huh,
Yeah.
you know, like, okay, it's gonna be playable. And I played it, and it sounded good and everything while I was playing it, but then again, at the end of my performance, you hear the buzzing again, and I'm like, I can't bring that up there again.
That is always bad where you hear that, like, some weird obnoxious noise on stage. And it's like, what is that? And you're like, oh boy. And then you do something and it stops. You're like, oh, that was me. Or that is me.
That was me. That was my guitar. And it would have been fine if they didn't have the camera on me. I'm just doing like
fighting them.
And you just hear the buzz afterwards.
They're able to put two and two together. It stops right when you do this.
Yeah.
And it's like,
Like, I could just imagine what people were commenting in that moment.
That's
like,
hilarious. So was this one of the early times that you came to the Blues Museum?
It may have been like my third or fourth.
Okay, because I'm trying to think if I was there, if I remember it. But yeah, that's hilarious. Well, that means you just got to bring it back. Redemption. Yeah.
Yeah, and just keep my hand on it as they're plugging it in. Yeah.
I know this time, guys.
Yeah. There's something else I kind of played a little bit of it, but it's a different kind of 12 bar. Normally I'd be in the key of A, right? But this one's pretty cool. I believe it's G.
Okay.
And it's a pretty fun one to solo over also, because I haven't came up with solo for it yet.
Okay.
You know, so like.
Nice.
Yeah.
That was cool.
I
Nice.
like that.
That's awesome. And I like the one you're using the new voicings with your hand, on those chords. Because I was just doing the basic.
Yeah.
But I was missing those.
Yeah. It sounds good together, I think.
I think so, yeah. Yeah, it's just there are two levels of different things going on, and it adds to it.
Definitely
that's
does.
awesome. Yeah, good. I like those progressions.
And
that's
I love those solos.
Oh, thank you. Yeah, it's always just just trying to figure something out.
Yeah.
Sometimes it's I'm sure you know that too. You just feel on, and you're in on the same wave. Yeah, in tune exactly with the chord progression, with what the vibe of the song is, and everything works out. And then there are other times where it's just kind of that's where those knowing licks comes in handy. It comes they're useful just because you can always throw those in if you don't know what's going on.
That's so true.
Yeah, but I think there's nothing that can beat that feeling of I'm locked in, and one single note sometimes is enough to just fill the space.
Yeah, you gave me something there by going to here and just
that's cool.
That's cool.
Yeah, it's so much fun. It's and then there are times where doing the fast shredding and stuff. That's exactly what you need. So it's there's nothing wrong with that. But it's just cool, that feeling of you know what you want to say, and it's just one thing, and then that's it. It's and that's all you need. But that's cool. But it's just playing over new chord progressions, learning new stuff. That's always just, it helps broaden your vocabulary, where you're like, oh, I've heard something similar, and I know what I want to say over this.
Right. Yeah.
That's cool. You can just do that, but then they're also it's all the same as long as you're just doing that chord progression from 1, 4, and 5. Nice, you got it. Nice. Yeah, exactly. Right? Just walking up that. And then there's also as long as you end on that 5, or the E or whatever it is, you can do whatever you want. You can do, it's just that's how you can end a. Exactly.
So that's kind of like how I go up here.
Yeah. Yep. It's exactly.
It's just like down here though.
Yep, exactly. It's just a different spot to do that same kind of hinting that you're starting over again.
Wow.
Just going back to Crossroads, so it was I think the ending lick, or the beginning lick of that intro, where it's it goes, it's it hints at okay, now we're starting over, and then it goes into so it's you're just ending on that.
That's
5.
so funny, because I've been trying to figure out what that lick was all week.
That's
you
cool.
just played it exactly.
Well, that took me forever to figure out.
Yeah, because I've been doing instead,
it's
because I had no clue what was.
I mean, it's all right there. It's the same spot that you're doing. It's just that it just goes. And then it goes.
Oh my gosh.
But that last part's the most identified. It's just so it just does.
Man.
Yeah, it's if you do that, and then you just hit the note.
So
Yep, and then land on that last. Yep, exactly. Yeah, exactly.
Cool.
And that's what's cool too, actually, about it being an A, is that the 5, the chord, is an E, so you can hit that open string, and so you can do it's that's totally fine to hit that open string.
That helps.
Yeah, that's cool. But that's the thing, is that all those 12-bar blues, you can do any kind of riff you want, as long as you change to the next chord at the right time. Just another one is the.
Oh
like but you just repeat that same lick just now on the next chord. Like... This yep, exactly. That is like an E, or it's just an E7, like so. It's this bar chord right here. You're basically just going to at the top of that bar chord, and you're putting this finger here.
Oh my gosh!
And then it's just like it makes it a 7, like a bluesy chord. Yep, exactly.
Wow, you just taught me something huge.
That's
here.
Cool. And what you just did right there, that's like the intro to that like killing floor, right where it goes like. But that whole thing that you just do is it's like they say let's start the blues but from the 5 going down. Yeah, it's like that's exactly what you do from there. Yep. And then you want to go to the 1 chord, which is just that same shape but it's on this fret. That's an A7 now.
Ooh. Okay, hold on. Okay, there we go.
Yeah, actually if you move your that one exactly. So it's, and then you go back down to the E, and then yep. So then that starts the whole blues.
Okay, so, wow.
Yeah,
that's something I need to get my fingers to start doing.
And that's
I want to do it.
Right, and that's just like with learning any chord. It takes a second to get that. Yeah, because there are some chords where I do something. I'm like I don't know how I'm gonna land in that quickly. And or just get my fingers to do it, and it's like it just takes time, and suddenly you're
muscle memory.
Right, exactly. So that one is such a one that I use so much, but I'm sure once you do it, just like that, that Jimi Hendrix chord, right? You already know that one, but that's the same shape. You're adding in this note here, which is like a what is that, 2 or sharp 2 or something, or sharp 9?
You want to know what I did to fake that chord?
What's that? Yeah, see it. Oh, nice. So you're barring nice.
Or even I believe that one time I even got my finger to go down here, and I even.
Nice. And that's anything works. That's the cool part about just those chord fragments. Like playing part of a chord is really you just need to get a couple of the identifier notes, and then you're good to go. You don't need all this stuff. Yeah, that's cool. Now, what was the song that was that was it Purple Haze? And you was that the one that you did the cover on? That was crazy on the Black Last Fall. And that was so crazy. I was really impressed by that. That was just the solo too. It was just like you nailed it. You said it took you just that day, right?
It took me that day. I had to just practice it for I think 2 hours. And I need to get back to playing that one because that one is, insane.
Yeah, that's a crazy one. That'd be cool to have in your arsenal. That's cool that was such a classic one for you, and it just is so clean now too. It just sounds great, and the tone from that Les Paul, you can't beat that.
Yeah,
this song specifically.
This is the guitar for that song.
Even some of the soloing stuff you did, that was really cool. Where it's like you're at this spot and you're hammering on. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
That's something that I've gotten back now that I'm super happy about. I haven't been able to.
You just hammer on things.
Because of my seizure in 2017.
Yeah, right. Yeah.
And that was something that I had just started getting to in 2017. Then after the seizure, it was just like it would hurt to try to do that, right? Okay. And just recently, since I've been practicing so much, I guess I've gotten that callus back to where I could.
That's awesome. Yep. Dang, that's so cool. That's so cool. So you're getting some things back that even you haven't even been able to do since like that long, 2017. Wow. Yeah.
And I think honestly it goes down to just me playing guitar all the time again. Where before I just, I didn't have the energy to keep playing. Like I'd practice. I'd practice on Wednesday night.
Yeah.
Or Wednesday morning. I'd send the stuff to Jesse a day before we even had to play it. He'd get mad at me.
He's like, I have homework to do now. Yeah. That's hilarious. Oh, you guys pulled it off. I never could tell, but that's hilarious. That it's kind of a night before, like, hey, so here's what we're working on.
Yeah, this is what we're doing. Oh yeah, I wrote something new, Jesse. This is what we're doing. He'd be like, and you give this to me a day before we play it? Yeah. I haven't been playing this week.
That's hilarious. Well, that's the talent of Jesse too, because he can make that sound great, and his solo is great. His solos are always great over that. So, you write some good riffs and solos, and then it's like Jesse can actually just on the fly, pretty much on the fly, adapt a solo.
And he called me out so much at the jam. He'd be like, "Oh yeah," and then I play with Chase up next, who sent me a song this morning of what we're doing.
Kind of a disclaimer, like, I only had a heads up about this morning.
Yeah, only had 15 minutes to learn the song that he sent me. So.
I've been out in the hall learning this right now.
By the way, he just messaged me the song, and he's in the audience, you know.
Yeah, he hasn't even told me where he's going to play it, actually. You message him while you're in the audience.
Here you go.
He looks, you wave to him from across the room,
He's holding it up to his ear because the amps are so loud.
Right, exactly, that's hilarious, Yeah, well, that'll be cool when you come back, because it'll be a necessary part to the jam again.
I miss it. I miss it.
I'm curious if there's anything that while we've been there, without you, have taken for granted that when you get there, you're going to notice things have changed in some ways, whether it's the sound or the look of the room or something. I mean, when you're there every week, you kind of don't pay attention to what's going on, but, it's been at least a month, more than that for you, so when you come back, I wonder if there's going to be things where you're like,
it's gonna be the crowd, and
maybe
everybody.
new people too.
That's what I miss, because even playing down here, it's like the energy of whenever I was on stage made me do different stuff in my songs.
That is so true. It's exactly. No, you're right. There is something about that. Extra part of the recipe, like a performance that adds the adrenaline or the innovativeness or something. It's true. You can't replicate that at home.
You can't. And I miss the crowd. It's like I found that I thought that music was my addiction. It is music, but it's also a crowd.
That is understandable. That's true. There is something about that. I agree. I could see that, and I have that too, I'm sure, because it's fun for a while working on stuff by yourself, but eventually you're like, I want to take this somewhere, and I want to,
I need people to hear this,
Yes.
and that's what it is. It's like, you know, making YouTube videos again is fun. You know, that's fun, but I do miss the crowd.
Yeah, there's something about that immediate feedback.
Yeah.
As YouTube is similar, but you don't know who's watching it.
Right.
No one's necessarily going to comment if they see something. It's like you just kind of know people are seeing it, but that's it.
Yeah.
Whereas when you're there, it's like you can look at someone right there and see their reaction.
Yeah.
If you can look up, like I get nervous on stage. You know.
My gosh, I gotta look at my hands the whole time.
Yeah.
But there's been a few times that, you know, I've heard a ovation happen, like mid-song standing ovation, and I've had to look at it. You know?
Right. That's cool. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, and you said because are the tips of your fingers you can't feel too well with them. Okay.
Yeah, I can't feel.
So definitely you need to be watching the fretboard.
Yeah, like I never, like especially, like I never know which, like if I'm looking away, like I could kind of like feel out.
Yeah.
You know, but I don't know where to go with the chord. I think I got it. But like a lot of times, like I'll be playing and I'll notice like if I'm looking away, like I'll hit instead of
right.
Like it's like that just instantly wants to happen. It's just go one fret down.
Yeah, right.
Yeah. You know, and I know it's wrong, or I'll miss a string. I'll go in between them or something.
Oh yeah.
I'm like, ooh, that's not good.
Yeah. Why am I not hearing that second note?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's true. And so, are you able to feel with your palm?
Yeah.
Because I'm thinking almost like now, if you're incorporating that more into your playing, maybe that'll help guide too, guide you, like knowing where you're, at least some reference. That's cool.
Yeah, I definitely feel that. You know, we can go into a good final jam.
Let's do it.
So,
you got a jam a chord progression in mind, or?
Yeah, we could do. You know, because A is so familiar with both of us.
Yep, I'm a fan of A.
Yeah, we could do an A 12 bar.
Let's do it.
You know?
Yeah.
So like.
Yeah, awesome, Chase. That was super fun.
That's
Man,
it.
that was it. That was sick.
Connor Lynch.
Chase Cofer, everybody. You're gonna see
Sisters
him in
Magnolia.
only a few weeks, right?
Yep.
When he comes.
Yep.
So what?
It's looking like it is March 5th.
March. Oh wow! So I'm
yeah.
glad I made it before you
Yeah.
came. I mean, you probably will still hopefully do these sessions.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. This is
such a
continuing.
cool idea. Yeah,
Yeah.
This is a unique St.
Yeah.
Louis idea. I like it.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah. And showcasing the talent that we have at the National Blues Museum, and hopefully other venues pretty soon too. You know.
Yeah. But
yeah,
we're happy you're recovering well, and and you seem way stronger, way better, and your guitar playing has improved so much, and I think we're all excited to see what you have to offer when you come back.
I can't wait,
including vocals.
I can't wait to show it. Yeah. Stay tuned to National Blues Museum Sitting on the Porch Jams every Thursday night, 6 o'clock on Facebook.
Yep. Thanks for having me, Chase.
All right.
Yeah.
You're welcome.
That was fun.
You're welcome. That was fun. This was a good one.